Picture this. You are a primate. Not a particularly impressive one. You have come down from the trees because the trees aren't giving you what you need anymore. And right there, on the ground in front of you, is a pile of fruit. Overripe, slightly mushy, smelling of something strange and sweet and sharp all at once. You don't know what that smell is. You don't have words for anything yet, but something in your body recognizes it. Something ancient and instinctive points at that pile of rotting fruit and says, "Yes, eat that." And so you do. And about 20 minutes later, something happens inside you that has never happened before. This is not the story of the first cocktail. This is not the story of a Roman banquet or a Viking mead hall or the invention of the wine bottle. This is the story of something older than language, older than civilization, older than the version of you watching this right now. This is how human beings and alcohol found each other, and why, after 10 million years, neither of us has managed to let go. Because here is the thing nobody tells you about alcohol. It didn't start with grapes, it didn't start with grain. The real beginning predates farming by millions of years. It predates pottery. It predates fire. Fermentation is not a human invention. It is not even a discovery. Yeast is a microorganism. It is everywhere, on the skin of fruit, in the soil, floating in the air around you right now. And when yeast encounters sugar in the right conditions, it produces two things: carbon dioxide and ethanol, alcohol. No human assistance required, no equipment, no knowledge, no intention. Leave any ripe fruit in a warm environment, and within days it will ferment on its own. The alcohol simply appears as reliably and inevitably as rainfall. This is where the story gets genuinely strange. In 2004, a biologist named Robert Dudley at UC Berkeley published a paper proposing something that sounds, on first reading, like a joke. He called it the Drunken Monkey Hypothesis. Our primate ancestors lived in tropical forests full of fruiting trees. Ripe fruit ferments. Fermented fruit contains ethanol. And the smell of ethanol, that sharp, warm, unmistakable smell, is a reliable signal that fruit is ripe, calorie-rich, and ready to eat. So, over millions of years, our ancestors developed a hardwired attraction to the scent of fermentation. Not because alcohol was useful, because alcohol was a signal. You are not descended from the primates who ignored that smell. You are descended from the ones who followed it. Roughly 10 million years ago, a mutation occurred in a common ancestor of humans, chimpanzees and gorillas. That mutation affected an enzyme called ADH4, and it increased our ability to break down ethanol by approximately 40 times. 40 times, not 40%, 40 times. The forests were shrinking. Our ancestors were spending more time on the ground, and on the ground, the fruit doesn't stay on trees. It falls. It sits in piles. It ferments. Evolution didn't give us a tolerance for alcohol because we liked to party. Evolution gave us a tolerance for alcohol because the ground was covered in it. The genetic reason you can drink a glass of wine without collapsing is a 10-million-year-old adaptation to eating rotting fruit off a forest floor. The oldest confirmed evidence comes from a site called Jiahu in China. Patrick McGovern at the University of Pennsylvania Museum, nicknamed genuinely the Indiana Jones of ancient booze, ran chemical analysis on pottery shards from the site. What he found was a fermented beverage dating to approximately 7000 BC, a deliberate mixture of rice, honey, hawthorn, and grape. Someone 9,000 years ago designed a recipe. 9,000 years ago, the wheel would not be invented for another 4,000 years. Writing would not exist for another 3,000. But here is the question that should be sitting in the back of your mind. Does the absence of older evidence mean it didn't happen earlier? Or does it just mean we haven't found it yet? The 9,000-year date is almost certainly not the beginning. It is simply the oldest fragment we have been lucky enough to find. Now here is a piece of this story that almost never makes it into casual conversation. There is a site in southern Turkey called Göbekli Tepe, 11,500 years old, the oldest monumental structure in human history. It predates Stonehenge by 6,000 years. It predates the Egyptian pyramids by more than 8,000. For years, the dominant interpretation was that it was a religious site, a temple. Then the stone vessels were analyzed. They found evidence of fermented grain. Beer. The beer might have been the point. The communal drinking was what drew people from across a vast region and created the social cohesion required to build something that is still standing today. This is either the most inspiring or the most on-brand thing you have ever heard about our species. There is a debate in archaeology that most people outside the field have never heard of, and it completely upends a story you were probably taught in school. Humans might have started farming not because they wanted stable food, but because they wanted a reliable supply of alcohol for communal rituals. Farming for beer. For the vast majority of recorded human history, alcohol was not recreational. It was sacred. The oldest written recipe of any kind in human history is a Sumerian hymn to Ninkasi, goddess of brewing. In ancient Egypt, pyramid workers received daily beer rations understood as a gift from Osiris, god of the afterlife. Across ancient Greece, ancient India, the pre-Columbian Americas, in virtually every culture that developed fermented beverages independently, the drink was sacred before it was social, and social before it was personal. The idea of alcohol as something you consume alone, privately, for your own individual enjoyment or escape, is, historically speaking, a very recent and very strange idea. Robin Dunbar at Oxford, the researcher who established that humans can maintain stable social groups of about 150 people, studied the social function of alcohol specifically. Alcohol reduces cortisol. It increases oxytocin. It creates measurable social bonds between strangers. The village gathering around fermented grain 9,000 years ago wasn't just people getting drunk. It was infrastructure. Here is where the story gets harder to tell. Everything just described, the sacred use, the communal ritual, the controlled context, was dismantled. Not by accident, deliberately, for profit. The gin epidemic in 18th century London, where cheap industrial gin was so aggressively marketed that urban mortality rose, children were born addicted and neighborhoods ceased to function. A shaman placing a clay vessel of fermented grain at the center of a communal ritual and an alcohol industry executive approving a campaign to market cheap spirits to teenagers are working with the same chemistry. Almost nothing else is the same. So when did humans first get drunk? Earlier than we can confirm, almost certainly by accident. By the time the historical record begins, in every corner of the world where fermentable materials existed, humans were already fermenting them. Deliberately, carefully, reverently. A table of strangers who are friends by the end of the evening, a toast at a wedding, a drink shared with someone you haven't seen in years. Those moments are not accidents. They are 10 million years old. They are what this was always for. The drink changes. The impulse never does.